Okay, this video is going to teach you about simple interest. This one could be a little bit challenging for students because of all the terms that are involved. And then if you're remembering the equation or having to manipulate the equation could be a bit of a challenge. So just kind of stick with me here, okay? Make sure you take really good notes on this. First of all, the definitions. Interest is the amount of money that either you earn or you pay for the use of money. Principal is the amount of money that is either deposited or borrowed. Deposit means you put into a bank or into an investment. Simple interest is the interest that is earned or paid only on the principal. So in other words, the initial investment. The annual interest rate is the percent of the principal that is earned or paid per year. And then the balance is the sum of the interest and the principal. Okay, so let's move on. Our simple interest formula, I is equal to PRT. Again, I is the money that's earned or paid. P is the amount of money that's deposited or borrowed. R is the annual interest rate, I'm struggling here, written as a decimal. And T is the time in years. This is really important here, in years, okay? So, for example, we have a $500 deposit that earns 6% simple annual interest for 4 years. Find the interest and the new balance. Not the gym shoe. We're looking for the amount of money in the account. All right, anyway. Interest is equal to PRT. So the interest is going to be equal to the principal, which is 500, times the rate as a decimal, times the time that it was invested for in years, which was 4. Go to our calculator, and we have 500 times 0.06. Now this you can enter all in one shot, which is nice, times 4, and we get $120. So the interest is $120. The new balance, or the balance of the account, is 500 plus the 120, or $620. That's easy enough, right? Let's try another one. Use simple interest formula to find the interest and new balance. Now, I'm going to do the first one because this one's a little tricky, and then you're going to do the second one. Okay, the reason is a little tricky because here, interest, we have, first of all, $30 that was invested, okay? And it was at 1%, so we have 0.01, sorry. But the time, this is where it's tricky, it's 10 months. Remember what we said, interest is in years. So how many months are there in a year? There are 12, so this is 10 out of 12. Because we always have to enter it in years. So that is a way of writing it that in years. If we put 10 in, then we would just assume that means 10 years. So let's do the math for this one, shall we? All right. This is the way you would enter this in your calculator. You would do 30 times 0.01, which is your interest rate as a decimal, the percent as a decimal, times, and then at 10/12. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up here and we're going to say 10. We're going to hit our ABC button. I'm going to try and find that ABC button. Where is it? Where is it? I do not see. Oh, it's fraction decimal? I don't like that. Yours would be an ABC button. Okay, mine is fraction decimal for some reason. And hit enter. And what do we get? We get 0.25. So in other words, the interest is going to be just 25 cents. The balance then will be $30.25. All right, this one then, I want you to try this one on your own. Pause the video and try it. Okay, here the interest is equal to 200 times the percent as a decimal, 0.45, times time in years, it's given in months, so it's 8/12. Okay, I'm going to clear this junk out of here. And maybe if I switched calculators. TI-34, does that have an ABC button? No, it has the fraction button too. Oh well. Alright. I know that the regular TI-30s in the classroom have ABC button that you would hit, but that's okay, either way. So I have 200 times 0.045 times 8/12. 8, and then U would be ABC, 12, and enter, and we get 6. So the interest is $6. The balance then is $206. Cool? That's a dollar sign. All right. Here. Another problem. You put 700. Now write this problem down, please. You put $750 into a CD, and somebody go, "What? How do you put money into a music CD?" Well, CD means certificate of deposit. It's a type of investment. So you put $750 into a CD. Your simple annual interest rate is 4%. You receive a check for the interest at the end of each year. How long will it take to earn $150? So I want you to pause the video. I want you to think about this one, because this one's challenging. See if you can figure out how to solve this one. Okay. Now, there's a couple of ways to solve this one, but one way that I prefer is the algebraic way. So interest is going to be equal to our principal, $750, times the rate, which is 0.04, and then what we don't know is the time. I have a feeling what some of you did was you put in 1, and then you said, oh, well, that's $30 for a year, and I need $150. 150 divided by 30, I get 5 years. Okay, let's say you couldn't do that. Then what you could do is say, all right, well, what I don't know is my time, and that's what I'm trying to figure out. So I could come over here and say, well, the interest that I get for this is $150. And I want to know how long will it take for that. So I'm going to solve for t. I'll take 150 is equal to, let me clear this out. I have 750 times 0.04 is equal to 30. So I have 30t, divide by 30 on both sides, and then t is equal to 5. That's the way I prefer you to solve it. So you would say, oh, it takes 5 years, or it would take 5 years to earn $150. The reason I want you to solve it that way is because you'll need it to do a problem like this one. Now, try and do this one, knowing that it has to be done algebraically. Write it down and try and solve it. Okay, this one, we have, you deposit $600 into a 6-month CD. After 6 months, the balance is $618, and again, it's 6 months. You want to find the rate, so we don't know the rate. All right, well, what we do know is that the balance is $618. The interest is going to be the balance minus the money that you put into it, which is $18. That's how much money you made, because you put in 600 and now it's 618. So that's the interest. Excuse me. We could take that and put it into our formula for I. I is equal to the principal, 600, times the rate, which we don't know, times time, which was 6 months. Now, we can move this around on the right-hand side because multiplication can be done in any order. And what property tells us that? Hopefully you said the commutative property. Commute because they're moving around. They're commuting. And we do 6 over 12 like this. So that way I can do the math with this part first. So let me clear this out and do this problem. I have 600 times, I'm going to do 6, and my fraction, or for you, ABC, 12 equals 300. So I have 18 is equal to 300R. Then what I'm going to do is divide both sides by 300. And R will be equal to, so I have 18 divided by my previous answer is 0.06. So the rate is 6% because we move it over 2 places. Pretty cool? Yeah, man, it is. Goodbye, everybody. You have a good night now.